Hi class. Today we are looking at Chapter 1, Lesson 6. How did the resources of Northern California impact the early peoples living there? The Northwest and Northeast peoples. The peoples of California's Northwest and Northeast developed unique cultures or ways of life. Each culture included the group's values, beliefs, languages, and traditions. Thanks to a mild climate and good food supply, the approximate 100 groups of people in the Northwest and Northeast California grew and did well prior to European contact. The Northwest area is bordered by the Pacific Ocean to the west and the Cascade Mountains to the east. It is covered by dense forest with many streams and rivers. It has a moist, mild climate. Northwest California has rivers that lead to the Pacific Ocean. These rivers provided fish to eat, especially salmon. The rivers provided a natural highway. Traveling on them by canoe was the fastest way to go from place to place. The Northwest peoples included the Tololwa, the Karuk, the Yurok, and the Cahuilla, and Hupa, and the Wayot, and the Williamcook, and the Shasta. Let's take a look at the next page. Here we have a map, and the map shows the Northwest and Northeast cultural areas. So we have right here the Northwest area, and that's going to be the area along the ocean here, and the Northeast. And that solid line right there, again, is the present day boundary. That means that's where the state boundary is right now. So the Northeast area includes parts of the Cascades, areas east of the Cascades, and the Modoc Plateau. It is an area formed by volcanoes. It has few major rivers, but many shallow lakes. Early peoples fished in the lakes and used lake water for daily activities. They used the pine forest of Modoc Plateau for fuel, food, and shelter. Big game such as bears, elk, and deer were plentiful for hunting. Northeast peoples included the Modoc, the Achumawi, and the Atsugiwe. Like other groups, the Northwest and Northeast peoples had shamans who were people thought to have supernatural powers that could be used for healing. A major difference, however, was that women were often the shamans in the North. Some had special skills such as treating snake bites or preventing bear attacks. The people of the North also practiced the annual sacred jump dance. This ceremony was meant to renew the world to fix the earth. The early people taught their children about their beliefs through creation stories, which are a culture's narratives or myths about how the world began and how people came into existence. These stories told how the people believed that the earth and its creatures were made. Through such stories, people explained the natural world and learned to value and care for nature. Let's take a look here at this picture. So this picture has a caption saying a Yurok storyteller shares tales with children. And you can see the storyteller there sitting around a campfire with children and a few adults I see in the background. Resources of the North. Northern California has some features that make it different from any other place in the world. Some of the area is covered in forest where evergreen trees known as the giant redwoods grow closely together. The coast of California is the only place on Earth where they are native. Giant redwoods are the tallest trees in the world, reaching heights of 368 feet. They also live very long lives, sometimes 2,000 years or more. To live so long and to grow so tall, the giant evergreen needs water, but there's not much rain in the summer. Instead, the redwoods absorb moisture from the dense fog. Their roots also trap moisture in the soil, where other plants can use it. Let's take a look here at this picture. So it says heights to compare. How much taller is the giant redwood than the blue oak tree? So here's the blue oak tree at 66 feet. Here's a house, normal house, about 25 feet. Looks like a two-story house here. A person is 6 feet tall. So we're going to be in this range here. And the giant redwood goes up to 379 feet, towering over, I don't know about towering, but it's still a lot taller than the Statue of Liberty even. So the giant redwoods are, well, giants. Rainforest. What do you think of when you hear the term rainforest? Many people imagine the hot tropical areas of South America, not California. However, They also exist in cooler, temperate places, places that are not too hot or too cold. Northern California is part of the Pacific temperate rainforest region. Look at the map to discover temperate rainforest. And here we have where some are. So it looks like they go all the way up the coast of California, into Washington and Oregon, through Canada, and into the southern part of Alaska here. Europe has some as well. There's some here along, this is the country of Turkey right here, along over there. And then here's China, there's India, and you have Vietnam over here, and there's some rainforest there. And up here by Japan, there are some as well. So, oh, and right here along Australia, and that's right there, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea over here. So there's lots of rainforests, more than just in the jungles of South America, which is pretty cool. These are called temperate rainforest. And again, it's because that weather pattern there, the temperature is just pretty steady. It's not hot, it's not cold, it stays pretty mild year round. The Yurok of the forest. For thousands of years, the Yurok people lived in harmony with nature along the Klamath River and the Pacific coast. They used planks from the redwoods to build houses. However, they used only naturally fallen trees, or they removed small amounts of wood from large trees without killing them. The Yurok built their houses partially underground and with slanted roofs to protect them from the cool wind and rain coming in off the ocean. The Yurok collected nuts, berries, and acorns from the forest to eat. The acorn was an important food. They used acorns to make soups, porridges, and flour for bread. Salmon was a major part of their diet too. The Yurok smoked salmon they caught in the spring to preserve it. As a result, they could eat salmon all year round. Some Yurok kept small gardens of wild plants collected from the forest. However, the forest and river provided food so well that Yurok never needed to develop farming. And here we have a picture of a Yurok house made of wood planks, which it says usually has a small round doorway. That's pretty cool. All right, let's take a look at the next page. The Klamath River. Starting at Klamath Lake in Oregon, the Klamath River flows over 260 miles to the Pacific Ocean. It is the second longest river in California. It flows through deep gorges and valleys with mountains on either side. There are several dams along the river. These have caused arguments about the best way to manage natural resources. Some people are against the dams because they have greatly reduced the salmon population. Salmon need free-flowing water to make their annual swim upstream to lay eggs, but dams get in the way. Other people believe that the dams are necessary for regulating the water supply to help farmers and to generate electricity for the area. And here we have a picture of salmon swimming upstream in the spring. The modern dams are not the first time that people have tried to control the flow of the river for their benefit. Early peoples, like the Yurok, built fishing weirs to trap salmon. The weirs were fence-like structures stretching along the river with platforms on them. Men and boys would stand on the platforms and use spears to kill the trapped fish. The fishermen were careful, though, to allow some salmon through the weirs. That way, the salmon would still be plentiful the next season. Today, the Yurok and other groups still fish for salmon from the river. Instead of weirs, however, they use nets. And here we have a Hoopa man fishes from a weir. The Modoc of the Plateau. The Modoc lived on the plateau, a high flat area of northeastern California. However, they did not stay in one place. The Modoc moved around with the seasons. In winter, they stayed in their permanent villages near lakes. They lived in pit houses, which were partially underground earthen houses with doorways in the roof. The pit houses protected them from extreme cold. In the spring, the Modoc moved to the river to catch spawning fish. They set up temporary camps of wickiups, which were domes made of willow frames and covered with reeds. They moved to the mountains in the summer to gather berries and nuts and to hunt deer and bear. They hunted by digging pits as traps to catch their prey. In the fall, they began preparing for winter. They moved resources they had collected down to the permanent village. All Modoc camps included a sweat house. It was a dome shaped like Wickiups, but it was covered in leather to trap in steam. The Modoc poured water on hot rocks to fill the sweat house with steam. The men sat in the heat to cleanse themselves before a hunt and then jumped into the cool river. They also used the sweat houses for socializing and for some religious rituals. They called these sweat baths spuklish. And here it says the sweat house was an important part of Modoc culture, kind of like a modern day sauna. The Modoc made the most of the natural resources available to them. They collected food seasonally from different parts of the plateau. They also practiced a form of land management that increased the amount of and quality of the food they collected. One technique was using fire to stimulate new growth in stronger seeds. Every few years, at the end of the growing season, the Modoc would set fire to their favorite huckleberry patches. Doing this caused more huckleberries to be produced the following season. The Modoc also used fire to increase the production of lily pond seed, one of their main food sources. Did you know? Basketry and games. Modoc women were excellent basket weavers. They made baskets of many shapes and sizes for different purposes. The Modoc even cooked soup and stews in baskets. This basket was used to play a stick game. One player covers the sticks and another player guesses the order of the sticks using finger signals. When the player is correct, they earn points. And this says basket and sticks like this one used in the Modoc stick game. All right, boys and girls, that's it for today. As always, we'll see you soon.